you like the socks today?
I've gone for slightly longer ones. They've noticed that.
Oh yeah, you have.
They're not ankle socks.
Sure, I like that.
No, like them.
I'm not sure I do. Well, I'm not saying I don't like them. I'm not sure how that sits in my eye line.
I wouldn't have been wearing that length of sock on the golf course because you'll get horrific tan lines. But because I'm in the shop, there's no sun in the shop, I just thought I'd wear them. Plus I've run out of ankle socks. I've been wearing ankle socks every single day. Yeah. G'day George, lovely to see you.
He's a good lad, isn't he, Oz Jordan?
I really like him.
Not sure I'm overly impressed about the fact that he's taken your Sunday morning show mode there.
It's fine.
Huh?
Not a problem.
You're not bothered about that?
No, he's a good lad. I've known Jordan since what? I gave him a golf lesson, I think, when he was about 4 or 5.
Really?
So yeah, I've known him. So he's 20 odd now, makes me 22,
23.
23.
Looks up to you.
What's like 17 years ago, makes me feel old, to be fair, nothing else. But yeah, he's a good lad. Play golf with him every weekend now as well.
Oh, you proper chums, you two now then.
He's a good lad.
That's nice. Well done. Mentoring him, aren't you?
He's settled in better than I thought he would. Not that I didn't think he'd settled in well, but he's like almost like he's been with us the whole time, isn't he? One of the lads.
One of the boys. I think that's what we bring that out of them though.
We do, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think you maybe more so than me, but yeah.
Well, I try to have a good time. That's what you've got to do in life, isn't it?
That's what life's all about,
Yeah.
really. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Sunday morning show. Good morning, Lester.
Good morning, Dan.
I thought you were taking over this week. I thought you were going to be in charge of the Sunday morning
channel.
show. Well,
This Sunday morning show was your idea. Where have you got that from?
what do you think of that?
Different, isn't it?
I've been sent a new mug.
Do you know what it reminds me of? When you get your samples, when you're doing your painting and you're decorating, and you try out different colours.
Oh, only, yeah, because of the thing. So what I've got in here, as you can see, is all the different colours of the different styles of coffees that you might want. So one's obviously milky, one's regular, one's dark and strong, and then one's a black coffee.
You get what you're given.
Well, I need you to start. I think this is a great idea, by the way, but because this gives you something to focus on when you're making the coffees.
You get what you're given. It's always dependent on how much milk we got, because sometimes we have lots of milk and we can be more generous with it. And other times,
do you not focus more on the fact that you're doing it how you're feeling? Like if I'm feeling a bit tired,
stronger.
I go a bit stronger. If I'm feeling like all upbeat, I'll go a bit milkier.
That's
No,
probably.
you
What does everyone do at home? Do people do that? Or
put your comments down below. How do you have your coffee?
To be fair, when I worked at Felston, we had a coffee machine in there.
I feel sorry for Steve, to be honest.
So,
you ruined his. You took all his profits.
Me and Jack used to do a double espresso every morning, just to get us going.
Just a kickstart. It does help. A little kick.
But yeah, we did drink all his profits there.
Yeah,
so apologies, Steve.
So, is there anything that you want to bring to the Sunday morning show this week? Do you want to talk about anything in particular?
I'll talk about where we've been this week.
Well, that would be nice. I think
and
everyone would love to hear what's gone on this week.
So this week we concluded Ashbury.
We kind of did.
We did, didn't we? We more or less finished it. So we finished the final course, which was an absolute gem of a golf course.
The Pines.
The Pines. It was in superb condition.
Beautiful.
The front 9 was nice, which I was really impressed with, but the back 9 was another level. It was
especially the finish.
To be honest, it was close to the Kigbeer in my favourite.
Well, I think
there was some spectacular holes.
I think what we're going to do long term is, and I've spoken to Peter the tweeter, our man.
Yeah.
We've talked about the idea of doing pick the best 18 holes at Ashbury.
Yeah.
And I think you'll be picking a few holes off the Pines.
Yeah, I definitely think. Some of the holes are really sort of crafted or into the actual Pines, where they cleared some away, and it was just spectacular backdrop, and yeah, it was really good. And the day before we had a bit of fun, didn't we? So we did the par 3 course.
Yeah.
And Jordan made his vlog debut, didn't he?
And a lot of people have been asking for this, which I fully understand why. Like, everybody wants to see the guys, whoever's involved in the channel, play a bit of golf, which is what was always going to be the plan. The only snag to it is that the idea of Jordan coming in is obviously to do the editing, but also to be our head cameraman when we're out on the golf course. So it's very hard to be cameraman and play golf at the same time.
Yeah, 100%. So on the shorter courses we play, which we will try and we do like a little par 3 course. get him involved probably every time we go and play a par 3 course, because we can swap cameras.
We can run up and down
to the green. But when you're playing a 450-yard hole, unless one of you's out of the hole early on, it's almost impossible to. Yeah. Well, it is impossible.
It is impossible.
And if we're trying to sort of push our filming and what we produce for you guys as good as possible, and keep sort of almost innovating, aren't we?
We're trying
keep
to pushing
the boundaries and making it better. So
absolutely.
Having Jordan ahead by the green, so he's watching the ball come in, or even chucking the drone up long term and watching from the fairway and zooming in and stuff like that, or zooming back at us.
You need people on the ground.
Yeah, so if we suddenly get him playing in the vlog, which, you know, he will play in the odd one, we lose that camera angle, that perspective, so then it brings the level back down to what we were maybe a year ago.
Where we were at the beginning, yeah.
And you never want to step back. You always want to go forward, I think, personally.
Yeah. One thing I was going to mention, which I think I've just noticed this through the analytics of YouTube, and some people have been commenting or messaging me. You might want to check at home yourselves, but I think there's been a lot of people that are not subscribed to the channel. And what I mean is they think they're subscribed and they think they've hit the button, or they're pretty sure they've subscribed, and it's almost like they've been kicked out of being subscribed. Now, I've not kicked them out. I don't know if you've kicked them out. But
don't kick anybody out.
No. But I think there's been a small glitch with, and I've read this on YouTube platforms as well, so other channels have struggled with it. So just have a little check if you're subscribed. If you want to be subscribed, it's great for the channel. Obviously, any comments that you put through is fantastic for the channel. Anytime you just give us a thumbs up, YouTube loves it. So just make sure you check that subscribe button.
To be honest, the more subscribers and the more views we get, the better the equipment, and
the more we
can do, and the more places we can, you know,
travel
to. So yeah, ideally, if you don't subscribe, please do, because it really helps.
It does help massively. Well, actually, talking of travel, we've been at All Woodley this week, and what an amazing trip! And a big thank you, obviously, to FootJoy. And this is just the start. And I actually think, and I haven't spoken to FootJoy yet, so let's not talk about this. But I think this is going to be the start of something pretty special. Yeah. Because the Heritage Series, to me, or what you call the Prestige Series, which I think has a nice ring to it, and I think there could be an offshoot.
That is the offshoot.
Is that the offshoot? Prestige Series. What a beauty!
It was a Prestige
Can't believe
wasn't it?
Prestige ball, golf ball.
Oh, that was a good
ball.
Prestige. Does anyone remember that
ball? I loved that ball.
That came into it kind of in line with the Tour Professional, didn't it?
Yeah.
And the Tour Bellata, that was.
Yeah, it went Tour Bellata, Tour Professional, then went Tour Prestige, and then it went to Pro V1.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Heritage Series, I think, has so much. We have so many opportunities with it because it can go on for a long time.
We hope it does.
Yeah, well, I think it will, and I think it'll be, you know, because we can. It doesn't have to just be this year. I mean, we can push it and, you know, get to different venues at different locations around the world, and we can make it a bit of a thing.
I felt really spoiled with where we went. Really,
it was a bit special.
Yeah, the courses, all three of them, were exceptional, in exceptional condition considering the weather we'd had previously, the fact their climate's not even as warm as what we are down here, so they've had the worst of the conditions, and we'd also had a lot of rain the previous few days before we went there, but the courses were phenomenal. The accommodation where we stayed, and
it was all good, wasn't it?
It was really, it couldn't have gone any better, really, I don't think.
But so you basically, over 9 holes, you gave me a bit of a scalping.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed the last hole, because when I made that part, I'd been really happy with 2 over, considering I was 2 over through 2 on a course we'd never played in a strong wind off the rail tip, tip. So yeah, I'd have been quite happy with that.
So when I was editing that video, because I was editing that one just because I wanted to get Jordan on to the next week, and it was only a 3-parter, so I had time to do it, but even when I was editing it, I still cannot get my head around the greens and how much movement there was on those greens. It was a strong wind we had there, and the greens were so. I mean, they were beautiful. They were rolling so
completely true, weren't they?
But you get it on the wrong side. You know, basically if you underread a putt, like I was doing a little bit, it just went.
Yeah.
And then you just couldn't stop it. And I know that because of the rain, it's possibly they put them on the high points of the greens, like you mentioned a few times. But and then it gets in your head. And I want to do a video on this, and I know me and you have had our struggles with putting over the years, but I think there's a good video to have out of this, and how you emotionally, how you feel, and things like that, because it really got to me. It got to me on that day.
My putting,
my putting
your
got
putting.
to me.
Yeah.
You know, on the greens, which it doesn't normally ever get to me anymore. Yeah.
I mean, I feel that if you were playing on that golf course or that type of golf course regularly, you'd almost want to, when you play, allow extra break and make sure you missed it on the high side. Almost miss on the high side, because if you've got it going down the slope with a bit of breeze and hit it slightly hard, it wasn't the putt wasn't running 2-3 foot past like you would here. It was 10 foot past. It can make you look rather stupid at times.
Which it did. Thanks.
But no, I didn't mean that. I mean, you particularly are quite a skilled player, so for an average golfer or even a high handicap, they would have been like. Yeah.
It was tough, and again, I think that what it came down to when you're playing these golf courses, and people often ask us to do some videos around how do you play a golf course that you've never seen before, and I think there's a prime example of how you would, and this is why practice rounds for tournaments are so important, because
100%.
if you would have seen that, you'd have made some really big notes. I would have certainly made a lot of notes on where I needed to position my second shot, and whether I needed to be past the pin, short of the pin, to the right or to the left of the pin, because then you want to give yourself the opportunity to have the easiest putt you can. You didn't want to be moving on the slopes.
It's quite often we play a hole on a vlog which we've never played, or we played very few times. You hit the wrong club and you think, West Cornwall was a perfect example, or hit driver up there on the second, unless you're knocking it into that real small alleyway or even onto the green. Literally no point at driver, because I was slightly left and I've got a 60-foot mound to go over with a pin cut on that side, so you just short-siding yourself, which gives yourself no chance of making par, really. So it's so important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is important, and I think we'll do more on that. I want to do more on that with Paul as well, because Paul's really good at that sort of stuff.
Paul is as good as I know of anybody at course management.
Yeah,
the ball around,
and also how
places.
and also how Paul prepares himself for tournament golf.
Yeah.
So how he goes out and does a practice round. You know, he would have been, if he was going up there to do play or Woodley, for example, you know, instead of jumping in the bus that morning and shooting up there, he would have actually done a bit of research on it.
Yeah.
So he would have gone on Google Earth and looked at it and things like that, you know, because there's so much you can take from that.
Yeah, 100%.
But a great trip. We've obviously got more to come. We've got more town to come. We've got more town to come, which will be on in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
And then we've got Headingley a couple of weeks' time after that.
Yeah,
so we're trying to break it up.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to go just me
it's
and
a
you.
different style of video, which I think most people appreciated and enjoyed.
Yeah, it's different.
It's different to our normal course vlog.
Yeah.
But
I know we had one comment saying it was a bit boring.
Yeah.
But you know what? Us two playing golf, you know, trying to play with a card in your hand.
But then I would guess that there might be the odd person that thinks
got
some
more
of
out
our
of it.
course vlogs are a little bit maybe they're too the other
2
way.
OT,
So yeah,
OTT.
possibly. But where are we this week then on there?
So this week, Jordan is just finishing off editing for tomorrow night. We'll be at Bowood. Bowood in Cornwall. The Bowood in Wiltshire we played. The Bowood in Cornwall will be down there.
You've never been there before, had you?
No, loved it. Absolutely loved it. And I'm looking forward to everybody watching this one because it's a lot of fun.
It was a good video.
We got Wilbur and Gilly involved again, so it was a lot of fun. But I did a video as well last week, which went out on Friday last week. It was a last minute video really, but I went up and did a bit of filming on the Thursday with James Ruth for a golf lesson. James called me the week before and just said, look, I saw a comment out there that said, could we have a little look at James's golf swing more and analyse it a little bit. And James said, well look, I'm going up for a lesson next week. If you want to come along and film it, please do, you know, more than welcome. So, which is rare. I mean, you know, golf pros like to keep those things close to their chest a little bit. Certainly golf coaches, you know, it's rare that you see golf coaches.
But then I think that's why we've always tried to do that with our channel, haven't we, or your channel. We've tried to, sorry, I'm taking over now.
You're back again.
We've tried to make everything very transparent.
Absolutely.
We don't hide anything. And the people that come on the channel, the other people, guests, whatever you want to call them, characters maybe, we've picked people that are very open like us.
Yeah.
Who are good friends of ours, and credit to James to actually saying to come and watch my lesson.
And it was
see what I'm working on.
So it's hard. Don't get me wrong. When you're going for an hour to 2 hour lesson to try and film it and grab as much information as you can get from it, but squeeze it into a 25-minute, 30-minute video is really, really difficult. But I think we got a really good point across. And don't get me wrong. The video is not going to be for everybody, but I think it gives you a really good insight into coaching, how golf coaches are coached and how they deal with the lesson. And something that James and I chatted about on the way back was that as a student in that lesson, sometimes you have to take a bit of control on the lesson as well.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that, like James, for example, as soon as he found something that worked, he didn't want to just sit there and hit balls for the next 20 minutes with the chap, with Alex. He was like, right, I've got it, I'm happy, I'm going, I'm done. So he ended the lesson.
Yeah.
Because it was really important for him that he got what he wanted from it and then moved on.
Yeah.
And there's so many people out there that just want to bang balls for their time and this, that and the other. And it's just actually, you just want to get something from the lesson that you can take away and work on and then go with it.
Yeah,
because what can happen is, you've seen it so many times, they'll get into a bit of a rhythm in here and then they get a bit tired and then they start not hitting it as good and then they lose a bit of confidence. Well, James was like, hit 2 really good drives. He's like, right, Alex, thanks, I'm done. And I think that's quite a good message.
Yeah, definitely.
Because take control of your own lessons as well. Don't just do it
in time. Get what you want out of the lesson, and once you've achieved what you wanted to,
shut it down.
And you got it. Because sometimes even the golf pro can add extra bits which might overcomplicate it, or you might be then giving you something else to think about.
Yeah.
Whereas you want to get the main point of it. If you've got it and understand it, then as far as I'm concerned, done deal.
Yeah, and for me, I think that was one of the most, as a golf coach, I found that one of the most interesting videos that I've put together.
But don't you think, as well, as a student or someone who's receiving the lessons, you should be going to the lesson, whoever you're having it with a clear goal and objective of what you want to achieve from it. Yeah. Whether it's a particular, you want to change your shape, or you want to do, but you want to have, I basically had a lesson on the Sam Putt Lab yesterday with James about my putting, just to have a little look, just to get some more understanding it. But the main thing that I wanted to get from the lesson is I wanted to get a technique that I could use. So once I felt comfortable, he'd got me in the positions I wanted to be in. I hit 3 or 4 putts like that, got some more numbers, and the numbers had improved. That was it. I was like, right, and now I know what I'm doing. I can now go. Because I didn't want to stand there hitting putts, so I literally went, as soon as he finished, I wrote everything down, all the key points there and then on a bit of paper, which I've still got, so I can refer back to them.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to go and work on it. I didn't want to stand there hitting 100 putts. Yeah. And forget, or do something. Oh, I got what I wanted from it, and that was me done.
Done, and that's the way. Yeah. That's the way. Take control of your own lesson, and I think that was a really good message from James when we were chatting on the way back, and it kind of just sunk in with me, like,
it's a good video. I've seen the video.
It's good. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's technical, and I think I really enjoy it. Even James Urquhart, who doesn't ever watch the videos, really, he doesn't have time to do all that. So even he sat and watched it. He was like, wow, that's really good.
It relates to us as well a bit, doesn't it?
It does a bit.
The way of our swings and how we've.
Certainly, if you grew up playing golf looking for yardage like we did and James did, then you get into some bad habits early on that can maybe, which obviously James was trying to sort out with Alex. I thought it was really, really good. And obviously a big thank you to Alex as well for letting us film on his practice ground. It was brilliant. So anything else that you want to share with everybody, or are you happy for this week?
I'm always happy, Dan.
Well, I know that, but is there any shout outs or anything like that?
We've got some that'll be going across the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, but have we got next week? So next week we are filming at Breen.
Yes.
So this is something that's a little bit close to you, isn't it?
Yeah. So my dad used to go around and do the Pontins camps and some of the Butlin camps and some of the sort of privately owned holiday camps in sort of the 70s, 80s and 90s, which I can remember. You being young and travelling around to the camps, and he played a bit of golf, but he wasn't a member anywhere. No. But he used to Bream Sands, which is literally next to, or was next to,
not far from. Well, it's from
From the Breen Golf Club.
Yeah.
So every single Wednesday, he used to have half a day to go and do the exhibition and be on the camp, and then him and Ray Reardon, who we've mentioned numerous times and shown pictures of Ray, they used to go and play against 2 members from Breen, round Breen. So Dad used to talk really fondly about Breen Golf Club and how welcoming they were in the sort of 80s, 90s, etc. When golf clubs weren't really welcoming, I would say, because it has changed.
It's not far from Burnham, just up the road from Burnham.
So they used to literally go there and play like every single Wednesday for so many years. So it'd be quite nice to go in.
Have you played it before?
I've never played it, so it'd be nice to go and visit a place where he spent many days and afternoons and really enjoyed it. So it'd be nice to go there.
Good. Right. Well, I think that's it, isn't it?
That is it.
We've got to go. We got jobs to do.
Shops to run.
Absolutely. Right, everybody, hope you have a fantastic weekend and enjoy Bowood. We're looking forward to it for next week, and we'll see you all next Sunday.
See you next Sunday.
See you next Sunday.